Hello everyone, this is Brian with Computer St. Louis. In this video, we will be looking at the full spam quarantine. So to reach that, you just need to find a recent spam quarantine report, I believe within the latest 2 weeks. As long as you click on this link, you can get in. So the default view is the junk list. So these are emails. It's going to bring you to a list of junk email. And um, you can see this is 3 pages long. It just goes back 30 days. This is just stuff that's been marked with as junk. So if you look in the status here, it'll show you different things. Like this email here is one that I looked at. So that's the viewed icon. I restored it, which it actually is bad. So I'm going to mark it as bad. Um, I restored it as part of a tutorial, but it's really not good. I don't want to get any more email from Jane at Hubstar. So I am going to show you how to blacklist that. So I clicked the restore button on it. And when you click the restore button on it, this one included, it restores it to your inbox and it also marks it as good. So if I want to mark it as bad, I check this box right here and I mark it as junk. So this update Bayesian is, I recommend having that checked. It basically is helping train the filter for future emails. You can mark it as bulk if you want to. I just update Bayesian and go from there. Um, Now the other thing that's cool with this filter is you can, if you make like a few selections, you can hit toggle and it's going to toggle them all. I think that's neat, but it's not really necessary for anything I can think of, but it might help you if you're working like this heavily. Um, similarly, if you see a few in here that you are good, um, I don't, because my filter is pretty well trained at this point. But if you saw a few that were good, you could mark them and hit mark as good. I'm not going to because I don't want to get more email from them, but it'll give you a similar, well, I'll show you. Mark is good. So this basically gives you the option to whitelist the sender, which I do recommend. Whitelist domain, that's going to whitelist the sending domain, and that's less recommended unless you're getting it from like, if one of your senders is a client or someone you're going to get a lot of email from that company in general, you might try whitelisting the domain, and then it'll hopefully whitelist anything coming from that sender. Maybe like, not just your contact, but other contacts from that company. And then restore email, you're almost always going to want that checked because that means you're going to get it. You want that email to be released to your inbox. Um, and that's really it. You can hover over the score in this list and it'll show you all the reasons why it didn't like an email. So in this case, it didn't like that there was a 1 pixel font in there, which is unreadable basically. Um, it did pass SPF checks, which is a good sign. Um, it didn't like that there was the word promotion in there. It didn't like there was some regular expressions. It didn't like subscribe. It didn't like that there was a web bug. Um, so there's a bunch of things in here that it didn't like, and that came up with the final score. Higher score is bad, lower score is good. So if we go home, this is the main menu. Main menu and home take you to the same place. This just shows some statistics up top. This is a good way to search messages. So if you're looking for a specific email from someone, um, so as you can see, today is May 13th. This search is going back 4 days, starting May 10th. If I just wanted to look at today, I would look at May 13th and look at one day. You could also go back further. So let's say we went back to May 1st and looked at 15 days. You can go back full 30 days. After that, this shouldn't have a whole lot in it because it's expunging email that's older than 30 days. But yeah, so if we do that and look at this, it's going to take a minute. There it goes. So this is looking at good and bad messages. This is everything. This is the everything list when you do a search like that. So this green arrow means that it sent it on to your inbox. And you can see like stuff from Computer St. Louis is whitelisted, so it got a really high negative score, which is very, very good. Messages from places that have been whitelisted are going to have negative scores generally. And then you can see like, low score like 17 is great. That's a good score. So it's going to be good. But this is just the reason I would come in here is if you're getting repeated spam from someone like this UC partner group, that's definitely spam, and I don't want to see any more email from them. I can mark it here and mark as junk, and I will never see. I'm probably not going to see email from them again. Now that's not like a full blacklisting, but it is marking them as junk, so that should block future email coming from them because it's updating that Bayesian database. And that's the one reason I would come in here is that there are a few other reasons I would come in. So if you hit manage filters, you never want to change these challenge response and restrict inbound emails to whitelisted senders. I would not turn those on. It's going to block a lot of email. You do want to send quarantine reports. And this is a cool thing, so you can adjust these times and get your reports at different times. You cannot change the midnight report. It has to come out at midnight. But the other 4, you can make it come whenever you want. Or you can tell it, don't send me a report at all. I don't want that. I want my 4:30 report, but that's that. There's also, you can manage a white and black list where you can, these are all the people that I've whitelisted. And then I've also blacklisted. I was getting a bunch of junk mail from Pottery Barn, and so I made sure that Pottery Barn never sent me anything ever again by blacklisting the entire domain. And so that's a good reason to come in here. There are a bunch of other things you can do in here. I don't really know that any of these settings are stuff that you really need to do, like out of office notification. You're almost better off setting that in Outlook and not here, but you can if you really want to. I don't really recommend it. Missed email alerts can be set up. And what this does is if you expect an email on a certain day at a certain time, you can send yourself an alert saying, hey, this email didn't come today. You can also set up temporary email addresses and send stuff through this. Again, that's something you can do. I don't know of anybody using it, but it is possible with this system. End-to-end encryption, again, that's something I don't know that anyone is using. If you need it, we can help you set it up. There's an import wizard that will help you import email. Again, probably not something you need. You can change your password in here. I don't even know what my current password is. So if you know your current password, you can change it here. But I always use the tokenized, I log into the report and I hit view messages in quarantine. If you do it that way, then you don't really need to know your password. So again, another setting you probably don't need. And then there's also a 2-factor authentication that's probably enabled. But again, if you're using the tokenized link, this view all messages in quarantine link to get in, you won't need it. So that's pretty much it. As I said, the most important thing is, this default view of junk messages is the one that I look at the most, just because someone said there, I sent you an email, did you get it? And that's kind of a trigger for me to be checking my inboxes and checking this list. So I'll check my inbox and I'll look at this list, and if it's not showing up in either spot, there is a really good chance that they didn't get the address right, or something else is going on. And that's when I may get the help desk involved to figure out what that is. The one other reason I would come in here is looking at good messages and just finding stuff. If someone's repeatedly sending me spam and I just don't want to see it anymore, you can look at your good list and look at all the mail that was passed and start marking stuff and saying, I don't ever want to get email from this guy again. I'm trying to look in here and see if I see one that's really not good. And I'm not seeing anything per se, other than the one I already marked bad. So as you can see, the spam filter's been working. I've been working with this filter now for a while, and I haven't had to mark anything for a while, and so it's good from that respect that I don't have to come in here and mark things bad very often. But if you want to, this is a good place to go. But my recommendation is just sit on these reports, restore the ones that are good, and it will train itself. It doesn't take long. And that's it. If you guys ever have any questions, we're here. I'm here. Please get a hold of us. We'll be happy to help.